Hi, I'm Zara.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And this is
First.
So, last week, what did we talk about?
Talk about just the general, dorm, where we live and stuff, the difference between everything.
And this week, we're going to talk about classes and class registration.
Because it's coming up quick.
It's coming up.
Yes.
My sign-up date is November 8th at 10 a.m.
And mine is November 7th at 3 p.m.
And what's that based on?
Well, mine is based on me being in the honors college, and also it's based on credit hours, I believe.
Mine's just based on credit hours, because we're not cool enough for the honors college. I mean, we are, but I say we rejected her.
Yes.
We rejected her.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I guess to start off with, we should say our majors to kind of give some context behind our opinions. Also, please take everything we say with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Because we are freshmen with experience.
I would say I am the most experienced freshman on campus personally. I know everything there is to know.
Bowing down. I am literally bowing down to Queen Mackenzie.
Oh my gosh, I'm just joking. But yes, take what we say with a grain of salt. We are just learning as we go.
I mean, take some of if you're like a high school senior, for some reason, like listening to this podcast, maybe listen to our advice. But if you're also a college freshman, maybe go to your advisor.
Yeah.
Before you just be like, Zara and Mackenzie told me to do this, so this is what we're going to do. Because we are also trying to figure it out. But maybe we can entertain you, and we can give you ideas of questions to ask your advisor, like, hey, I haven't thought of that before.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
We'll talk about the different advising options as well later on. So.
Ooh, that'd be fun. That'd be hot.
Yes, I agree. Okay.
Wait, what are the different advising options?
You have the Express, you have Premier, which is the form, and then you have the in-person standard advising, I think, which is a longer session from what I believe, 30 minutes.
Interesting. See, I've only done the on-call advising because I'm in Culver House. I'm a marketing major, double minoring in APR, which is advertising and public relations, and then I have another minor in creative writing.
Ambitious.
I mean, you're also double minoring with a major. Tell us, what is it?
I'm an English major, and I'm double minoring in conflict res and ANPR too, so we're twinning.
Yeah, don't ask us what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
That's not a question you ask us.
Yeah.
See, I didn't realize until we were talking earlier that you have different requirements for your gen eds and everything based on what college you were. I thought it was everyone has the same gen eds. But then once you get to the Culver House lower division or the lower house. I can't talk. I haven't had enough coffee, I guess. Oh the lower division for arts and sciences. I thought those were different, but then everyone else had the same gen eds. I didn't realize they varied a bit in your degree works.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I kind of had an inkling that may be the case, but also I didn't think arts and sciences and Culver House were that separated that it would be too different.
Mm-hmm. Until we started looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Double minoring. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, because did you come into college initially thinking you were going to double minor?
Well, I came into college I've stayed with a marketing major, which is what I've stayed with. But I originally had a minor in news media. Now, ask me why I had a minor in news media, Mackenzie.
Why?
I have no idea. I took journalism in high school, and obviously I enjoyed it because I'm on the Crimson White.
Of course.
But I thought, let's just continue learning it for fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly, in retrospect, the logic I had, it just starts collapsing, if that makes sense.
You're doing it for kicks, just for
And
fun
then
of it.
I walked into my JCM 180 class. As a person that doesn't necessarily want to go into the professional career of journalism or broadcasting, it didn't make any sense for me to be there.
Yeah.
And so, I dropped the class and then added Intro to Critical Decision Making. And then later on, maybe a week later, I added APR as a minor because that just made more sense than news media, and I wanted to have a minor. Creative writing was something I never considered before, but I've always liked writing.
Yeah,
then
you're on the Crimson White.
Exactly. But then I took the Intro to Creative Writing.
Creative writing.
Creative writing class. And I really enjoyed it. I super like it. I was like, oh, I'm so sad this is going to end. I was like, wait, it doesn't have to end if I don't want it to. So I went to my advisor, like, hey, does this fit in my schedule? I'm coming in with a few credits. I'm coming with 18 credits. So that, yeah, this definitely fits in with your schedule. So why not? Also, I mean, it also kind of goes, I think it goes pretty well with APR and marketing. I mean, it may not have a direct connection in the same way that APR and marketing have that connection, but it still helps and like supplements. It's not just like, oh, I'm minoring in biology.
Well, when you're when you're stimulating your mind doing like the different writing exercises that the creative writing minor offers, like you're giving yourself more exposure to different types of writing, which strengthens everything.
Exactly. Just like diversifying those skills, so then it helps me problem solve later down the road.
Yes.
Now, what about you? Tell us about your major double minor journey. And I guess the honors college too. How you came to that?
I suppose. Well, so before I even was a senior in high school, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna double major. I'm gonna double minor. I'm gonna triple minor, because I was just a little crazy. And then I got to college, and I was like, maybe I should not do that. I didn't come into college thinking I was gonna double minor. I came in with an English major, like I said, and because the English major requires a minor, I was trying to brainstorm, like, what could I do? And my mom was like, maybe you should try A and PR, because I'm on this create path to the MBA as well through the honors college, which I'll touch on a little later. But so I figured that would pair pretty well with that. So I added that as a minor. The create path to the MBA is just, it's like taking business classes one a semester just to get you to your junior year, where you start taking grad classes, and eventually you just do 1 year of grad school instead of 2. So it's really productive in that regard for people who are either STEM majors or create majors like news, media, and then other just creative disciplines working to get that MBA. But conflict resolution actually is a new thing. It came about like a week and a half ago, I think, when I was, I love tinkering with degree work.
I like how you said a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the creative writing minor for me also came about a week and a half ago. But just the way you said it, I just love that so much. Like, yeah, just
very
added a minor.
Nonchalant, no. But it was, I was sitting in the living room of my dorm with one of my roommates, and she was laughing about how I can't stop messing with degree works, and I was like, just wait, I'll add another minor. I was looking for things to do just to continue the joke, and I found conflict resolution and was like, hey, this might work pretty well.
Well, see, at first I didn't get it, because I was like, why are people playing around with degree works? Why do they keep trying to add minors and majors and thinking about double majoring? Why can't they just make a decision? And now I'm here with a major and a double minor thinking about turning turning APR into a double major. Like, what am I?
How do you have time in your schedule for a double major?
See, that's why I'm only thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because someone came into my MC 101 class with the Minerva program, and it sounds like fun, but in order to be in the program, you have to be an advertising major. And I'm like, what if I just became an advertising major? You know what I mean?
I mean, if anyone could do it, it's you.
But see, I don't know if I want to do it. I probably won't do it. I'm probably just like thinking about it.
Just thinking about it. You know that TikTok sound? Just thinking about it. Girl, I did it. It's going to be you next week.
Next episode of Firsts, Zara tries double majoring.
Yes.
I talked to my dad about it, and he's like, Zara, you're a first semester freshman. You don't need to be making all these decisions at once. You literally have time. And I'm like, but I don't.
That's literally what my mom said. She was like, Max, stop adding stuff. You don't need... I'm like, but Mom, it's so much fun.
I mean, it just gives me light.
Also, so on the topic of majors and stuff, I want to talk about orientation, because that definitely had to have some kind of influence on what we're taking right now, right? You would think.
It was so funny. I did pre-prep for orientation, not really realizing that you don't need to do that.
Making a schedule before you came to orientation?
Yeah, it's just like looking at classes, seeing what I might want to take, having a list of options that I want to have. But I took the suggestions of the things that I want to take based on what my sister said. I mean, my sister's great, but she goes to a different college than I do.
Yeah.
Like, and they just, I don't know, I didn't realize, like, they do things differently. But she was telling me, like, I should take science, math, history. And so that's what put in my orientation prep math, science, and history. And then I got to orientation and they told me to take math and then stuff for my minor and then like the GBA class. And that was it. It was like basically the course load they gave me during orientation was infinitely easier than the course load that I created myself. And ladies and gentlemen, that is why you go to freshman orientation.
Yes.
Because
it may be required, but you still should go.
And you should definitely follow their suggestions, because I know some people, like, they didn't follow.
And they, like, went and messed up their whole... And now they're behind.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that I went with the suggestions. Because, I don't know, it's going well for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I had taken the classes that I would have picked for myself, who is she? Like,
right.
Literally.
I think... I also did a little bit of pre-prep for orientation, but I had one of my college friends who goes to SJSU. She put it together for me. So I listened to my advisor to an extent. I really appreciated the advice he gave me, but also like there were certain things that worked with my schedule later on that were not advised because it just
same. Like they advise everyone to take 16 hours per semester, at least around that. So you can graduate on time. But I came in with a little bit of credit, and I wanted an even easier freshman year than they suggested. So that's why I'm only taking 13 right now.
Talk about that, though. Like, what is it like coming in with more, like, credits?
It's nice because you can come in, and you don't really have to, like, worry about the gen eds as much. And you can start kind of mixing in the major courses plus the gen eds, I guess, more than you would if you had 0 credits coming in.
Yeah.
Because you already have them. And it's kind of like, yeah, we have to get through these gen eds to get to our major courses. But I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say. From my side, it's like I get to take them kind of more at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I have to take my humanities requirement, but I'm also getting to take classes that I like. I don't know. I think it's fun. I like it. I would definitely suggest it. I kind of wish I'd taken more during high school. I mean, I don't regret... I mean, it's like a weird balance. It's like I regret not taking more, but at the same time, I don't regret not taking more because I really enjoyed the schedule I was able to have during my senior year.
Yes.
But now it's just, you know what I mean? You always want what you don't have.
Exactly. It's like I liked the not stressful experience I had. I only took 1 AP my senior year. But then I got into college and I was like, shoot, like I really don't want to take freshman math. But because I didn't take anything, they test me out of it. I could. Now, you can always CLEP. There's these CLEP tests. Yeah. I forget what it stands for, but it's like you can take these tests. They're like $90 each, and they can apply for college credit, and it does the same as what...
See, I would do that if I think I would be able to pass it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The class that I would have wanted to take during dual enrollment would have been... I would have wanted to take my science... Like, get my science credits out of the way, because I don't want to take them. I don't know.
We're just not science-minded.
I mean, you heard our majors and minors. Where did you hear biology? Where did you hear chemistry?
Nowhere.
We're not going to those buildings, unless it's our gen eds. But at the same time, it's like, but I had so much fun during my senior year. So, how is advising like for you in the arts and science college? Like, walk me through it.
So I told you a little bit about orientation. Orientation, they put us all in like this big room, and then we got these slips, and whatever slip, it had like a name for a door that we went to, and there was a random advisor inside. So like we were told that our advisors would be assigned later. Like the advisors we had at orientation were not the advisors we were going to have during the school year. So I come to the school and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm doing what I need to do, have my classes. But then I get this email and it's like, hey, you have a premier advising opportunity. You can fill out this form with the classes you want to take next semester. It will send to an advisor, and they will send you feedback back on it, and you don't have to go meet with anyone in person. So I filled that out.
Wait, so premier advising is you fill out a form, put the classes you want.
And any questions.
Send it to an advisor, and then an advisor gets back to you as to whether they think that's a good idea or not?
I suppose, because it's like they're supposed to give you comments on it, but when I filled out the form, I got it back probably within 15 minutes. There were no comments on it. My pen was cleared. So really, I think it's just about like you send it in, and as long as your classes like make sense for your path, your advisor's going to clear it. Like they'll be fine.
Okay.
So I would just, play around with DegreeWorks.
DegreeWorks is so fun, just hitting that what if button.
Oh, I play with it all the time.
Just like, I have no plans on majoring in this or minoring in this, but I could.
Right. Like sometimes somebody will ask me out to dinner and I'm like, sorry, I can't come. I'm hanging out with DegreeWorks.
But yeah, no, I really liked the Culver House advisors. They put us all in one giant room in Alston Hall. Was it Alston? No, it was Bidgood.
I don't even know where that is.
It was in Bidgood.
I haven't been. I don't have anything.
Well,
it's like on the other side.
They put us in this like giant lecture room, and they split us off into into smaller groups. Like raise your hand if you have. I don't remember the groups were, but they separated us in some way. And then one thing that was funny is that a lot of like people had college credit coming in there.
Yes.
But for some reason, like either on UA's end or wherever they were getting the credit from for dual enrollment, UA didn't have it. So let's say I took polls in high school,
yes,
but UA didn't have any record. It was weird. So they ended up having a little bit of small, not a big hiccup, but just like ooh, this is more people than we anticipated having, saying they have college credit, but we don't have record of it. Type of thing.
There were a few people on the arts and science stuff who like their credit hadn't come through, and there were a lot of people waiting on APs that had not released scores yet.
Yeah, that happened with us, except it wasn't just a couple people. It was about half the room.
Dang. That
raised their hand like, yeah, I'm supposed to have college credit, but you didn't read my name for the people that have college credit. But that was a small footnote. There was just like one guy that just went around to all of us. He asked me, what's my major? I said marketing. What's my minor? It was news media at the time. And then he looked at the credits that I have, and then he said, based on your major, based on your minor, and that you have some of your gen eds out of the way, you should take X, Y, and Z. And it was so fast and so efficient. And the classes were actually, I wouldn't say, I don't know, he had a good way of personalized. I wish I remembered his name so I could name drop him here. Because shout out to him. Shout out to him. But he was so good at it because he did it so fast. And the classes weren't just like, oh, all business students should take these, but they felt personalized.
That's like,
you know
that's
what I mean?
Advising is supposed to feel like, so that's good.
But it's so fast. Like, he was able to give me such a personalized schedule.
Oh, imagine
and just
how often they do it.
But it's just, I know, but it was just crazy.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind. But,
gosh.
I don't know. My schedule, the one that I picked during orientation, we talked about this a little bit. It looks completely different. At the beginning, I was panicking when I was picking my classes. And so I kind of just, you can't really see that I'm snapping. I don't know. I was just like picking them, boom, 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 boom. Not realizing that I picked 8 a.m.s for Monday through Thursday.
Ooh.
And so eventually I ended up dropping and adding them. Now it was weird. I was trying to do it all summer long to do the drop add. But it wasn't until late July, when orientation was over, that I was really able to get into my schedule and just change everything. I mean, I'm still pretty much taking the same classes that he suggested me because they were really good classes. But he suggested I take 16 hours. I'm taking 13 just to ease myself in. And then I'm also, again, I picked really weird times. So I just rearranged everything.
Yeah.
That it is a better schedule time-wise.
I think I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I almost have a completely different schedule than what I had at orientation. And it's not at any of the fault of the advisor. It's the fact that, like, I got into school and realized that, like, certain classes were not going to work for me long term. I was taking German as my foreign language credit, and it was at 9 a.m. every day of the week except for Friday. And I was, like, initially down for that. But then we got into the school year, and I was like, I don't know if, like, that's something that I can maintain. Because I like having my mornings to myself. So I switched my foreign language to computer science, which is something I never thought I would do because, I'm not really a computer person, but I'm actually enjoying the class a lot.
Wait, what's the computer science class for?
It's like intro to like computer applications. So
no, but I mean, like, what requirement is it for? Is it for
like
this?
my foreign language requirement.
Oh,
so like you can take computer science for your foreign language.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna have to do that too.
So if you're not, just a note, if you're not someone who meshes well with like spoken languages, like taking computer science is a totally like viable option. Like it works very well.
See, I'm considering just taking the foreign language instead of the computer requirement because they suggest you in the Culver House College to take the computer one because I think it's more useful to you.
Especially because, like, I'm learning Excel and stuff. It's very
But
nice.
I'm so good at Spanish. I could just take Spanish.
I took Spanish all throughout high school, and I did not continue it here because I just, like, I felt like I wasn't ready.
Well, I don't think I'm ready either, to be honest, but I could take Spanish 1. You know what I mean? I could take Spanish 1. I'm good enough for Spanish 1.
Let's go.
I mean, I took Spanish 1 through 3 and I was fine.
Midterms?
I didn't have any of those.
I did not either. I mean, I had one in my English class, but it was like an essay. So it wasn't like your traditional, like, you sit down and take an exam midterm. Like, you know?
Yeah. End of period, end of story.
Yeah.
Don't have any midterms. I mean, they put midterm grades in, but it was more the thing.
Like what we had in the
What we had in the class is our midterm grade. So
I'll just say, you know, if you ever need a major and you're confused about what to do, like being an English major is totally awesome. Like no midterms, just a lot of writing. But, you know.
Oh, if we're advertising our majors, I mean, take a business major. I mean, you could literally do business anywhere, and they're just so many options within the business school.
It's so interesting. We're like kind of opposites because you're a business major with like kind of an English like minor, and I'm an English major with like a business minor.
That's so funny. I didn't even think about that. I literally didn't even think about that. That's so funny. How did you pick the English part of your English major?
I was picking between poli-sci and English for my major actually, which is a really odd thing to me now that I like think about like who I am. But I was like, I want to go to law school. And then I was like, no, I don't want to go to law school. So I talked to my friend's dad, and he was like, going to law school, like being an English major is a lot more valuable than poli-sci to him. He said if I could do it again, I would be an English major. So I was
Did he say why?
I think he said because there's more of a concentration on like reading and writing techniques, and that's really valuable as a lawyer, like that critical thinking and like concept reviewing and stuff. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to go to law school, I'm going to be an English major. So that was my initial goal. But then I took a year-long mentorship in 2 separate parts through Vanderbilt, where I focused, it was like writing intensives. Mm-hmm. And that was like, that kind of cemented my idea that I wanted to be an English major. Because I was like, so I can set myself up to go to law school if I choose. I can also go to business school if I want. And I can creatively write and read and do everything I want to do all in one thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I landed on a business major. It was kind of weird. It was a little circle moment. Like, beginning of high school, I said, I want to be business management. Because at the time, I thought I wanted to own a restaurant.
Yes.
And business management just seemed like a natural major for that type of career path. But then people were saying, Zara, I think this was during my junior year, Zara, you're too creative to be a business management major. And, you know, the first teacher that says it to you, it's like, whatever. But then once all of your teachers start telling you that, it does make you question it a little bit. Like, maybe if multiple people are telling me this, not that your junior year, you need to pick your major, but, you know, think about it. But, I don't know, after management, I thought about don't laugh at me.
Okay.
Being a food and nutrition major.
I mean, respect.
Because I like food.
Like, what other reason?
Like, that's the only reason that I thought about being that major. Well, number one, you like food, and that's the only reason. I definitely should have looked at food science instead of food and nutrition. But I looked at food and nutrition for some, I don't even know. I honestly don't even know. I even thought about going to culinary school for a hot second there.
Wow.
And then but that was when I still wanted to own a restaurant. But then I started working in the restaurant industry, and I realized, oh, wait, I don't want to do this. Now, I have mad respect for people that work in the restaurant industry because you have to be so positive. And I'm not saying I'm not a positive person, but I'm saying that I'm not that perky. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not like, let's get up 6 a.m. every single day, grinding day in and day out. Yeah, see, that's what rocked the boat. And then I looked at being a communications major. I almost was a public relations major until I talked to one of my teachers, and she says, I don't think you'll like PR, which is valid. I don't think I would either. I mean, not that PR is bad. I just don't think it's for me.
Says the AMPR minor.
Well, look. See, the thing is that I was talking to my journalism teacher, and she basically told me that the difference between PR and journalism is like journalism, you're kind of just like, I guess, defending the truth.
Yeah.
And then PR, it's more you're crafting the truth.
Yeah.
And I'm minoring in APR because I think it'll give me more options.
I agree.
Because the weird thing is, I don't know what I want to do, but I know what I don't want to do. Yeah, so I'm not really big into wanting to work in social media later on. PR is another one. Sorry, Bhavana, but not journalism either. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was talking about. But eventually I landed on marketing. I don't know. I just looked it up. It was like marketing versus PR versus communications. And marketing seemed like the broadest one.
Yeah.
So that's how I landed there.
There's definitely a lot you can do with it, so.
Let's see.
Us and our broad majors.
Wait, what did you say?
Us and the broad majors, like.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
having a broad major is good because I think a lot of people, they come into college thinking they have to choose their major based on what they want to do for the rest of their lives, when that's not necessarily true.
You get freshman year to experiment, basically. You take class, that's what GEs are for as well sometimes, like to see what kind of stuff you might be interested in.
I mean, even if you know, like going in, like you're going to stick with the business major, that doesn't necessarily mean you know what you want to do within business.
Yeah.
Or if you're like, even some of the science majors, even the med track, there's a lot of options. Because, like, yeah, you can go in saying you want to be a cardiac surgeon, but then become something like family medicine or something.
Like, even English, like, there's a new concentration this year, like the digital and professional writing concentration. And so, actually, to one of the other schools that I applied to before I chose Alabama, like, that was my major, like, digital and professional writing. But when I came to Alabama, I was like, okay, I'll do English broad, like, as the broad, like, subject, and then I'll focus on stuff. Like, within the English major, you can focus on publishing, which is what I want to do with my career, but you can also focus on creative writing, which is why a lot of English majors will pick up the creative writing minor. I've been applying for internships and stuff.
I've been too.
Yeah, so we'll see. I applied for, like, social media internships, which are so random, because, like, that is not what I want to do with my career, but, like, it'll get me a foot in the door.
It's not something that, like, I could see myself doing long term.
Yeah.
Maybe the real world is better.
Well, if I get one of these internships, I'll let you know. I doubt I'll get it because I'm like a freshman and they don't really like.
Well, no, go to Handshake.
Well, no, I've been looking on Handshake, but also like.
No, but you can filter it so it only shows you jobs that are freshman friendly.
Solid. I've also been, LinkedIn does a really good job. I've realized having a LinkedIn as a freshman is like the greatest way to be an academic weapon.
Literally.
Because everybody has LinkedIn now.
Wait.
So distracted. I guess we could talk about time management as like a kind of last thing to touch on.
Yeah, time management. Do it.
Okay. Me personally, I am a big procrastinator. I don't encourage it, but like for me, it works when I wait to the last minute. Please don't do it. I'm really bad about it. But a good and important thing about time management is also like knowing how you study best. So, like, for some classes, I'm not really a note cards type of girl. I like to do, like, hands-on things. Like, I need to be doing what I'm learning. But for my business class, I'll give presentations to an empty room and try to memorize things. For, like, classes that I need to memorize things, I'll also give, like, mini presentations just to test my knowledge. For math, I just like going through and redoing the problems over and over again.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, except... I don't give presentations to empty rooms.
Not weird like me.
I just do flashcards like a normal person. Because I feel like flashcards are application. Because it's like you're quizzing yourself on the spot.
I think it's just harder for it to like mesh in my mind. Because it's more, I don't know what it is.
I mean, I have to do it for hours. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oop, I know it now. I think I want to say I studied for at least like 12 hours for my last mass comm test.
12 hours.
Because,
oh my gosh.
And I'm not the person that can naturally see it and know it, which is why I'm not a med student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the information wasn't hard. It's just like 150 flashcards, which if you're a med student doesn't seem like a lot, but for me it was. And so I just had to keep going until I knew it, because on the test it's either, for me at least, it's either a thing where I know it or I don't know it. It's not something where I'm just going to be thinking about it and then 10 minutes later it comes to me. It's either right in the front of my brain or it's not in the brain at all.
Yes.
Every once in a while I'll have like a 15-minute afterwards epiphany, but that's just, we don't count on that because it pretty much rarely happens. I don't know. But I'm the same way about math. I practice through doing it, through application. But science and history,
I just try to avoid them if I can.
first you avoid them like the plague. But then
sorry, engineering majors.
Yeah. Imagine being...
This is why I'm an English major.
That is why I'm a business major. It is math. It is English. It is all application.
Right.
We love her.
The College of the Arts and Sciences, but if it were me, I would just make it the College of the Arts.
Literally. Literally. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Let's say our last thoughts overall. Well, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, my main thing is just like communicate with your advisors whenever you want to make changes, because you can set yourself back on accident. Like if you don't pay attention.
I think that's just key life advice. Communication is key.
Yeah. With
people, with your employers, with your teachers,
with your roommates.
Exactly. I think my roommate and I, we have a good, I guess, I don't know, what do you call it? A good system in place because we communicate with each other.
Yeah, mine do as well, I would say.
And then I'm doing well in my classes because if I need help, I can communicate with my professors. If I want to add a minor to my degree works, I'll communicate that with the on-call advisors at Culver House. If I want to make a podcast with someone at the Crimson White, I communicate with my team.
Oh, yeah. Look where that got us. Oh, my God.
But, yeah, no. I guess my lasting advice would be, I don't know, manage your time. Communicate. If having to manage your time means writing your schedule out in excruciating detail, I had to do for the first month of college in order to be able to get all the things I want done, then that's what you have to do.
That's what you got to do.
But, I don't know. It's never too late, too. If you're behind, no, you're not. No, you're not.
You're not.
But I guess that's us first.
Us first.
This was Zara.
And this was Mackenzie.
And this was our first.